police record a surge in number of people falling for online scams. And violence mars the opening of polls in Pakistan's general election. The number of people falling victim to online fraud has increased dramatically, with more than 270 getting conned in romantic scams. Still, the overall crime rate continued to fall. Pinky Wong has more on the latest crime figures for the first half of this year.
Hong Kong appears to maintain its status as one of the safest cities in the world.
The overall law and order situation in Hong Kong remained very stable in the first half of 2018. The overall crime figures was 26,550 cases, a drop of 6.2%. I mean, most of the crimes are under decrease.
The city's crime rate in the first half of the year was at its lowest in more than 40 years. Crimes that dropped more than 20% included rape, arson, and blackmail. However, the number of homicide cases doubled compared with last year. Telephone and street deception cases saw a drastic drop of more than 60%, but 3 other types of deception cases increased in the first half of 2018. The 3 types included online romance scams, job scams, and investment scams. Police said after establishing the Anti-Deception Coordination Center earlier this month, more than 22,000 people have sought help on scam-related issues. Officers were also asked about the possible ban of the Hong Kong National Party.
Each case should be considered on its own merit, and I cannot comment on individual case. In carrying out our duties, we have the responsibility to follow up if we find that any individual or society may have contravened the law, and in accordance with legal provisions and evidence gathered, and based on the legal provisions without any bias.
Looking ahead, the police department says it will work closely with mainland law enforcement to better tackle with cross-border crime. Pinky Wong, TVB News.
The city's anti-corruption agency has made a formal prosecution against celebrity tutor Chris Lau. Lau has been teaching English at the giant tutoring chain Modern Education. He's accused of paying $1,000 to obtain confidential information on the 2017 DSE English exam paper. A former marking assistant at the Examinations and Assessment Authority was also arrested by the ICAC for taking the money and providing the information.
A scare at Metro Radio's office in Whampoa today as it received a packet containing white powder. The radio station's office was cordoned off by police. Bomb disposal officers were deployed to the scene while staff were told to evacuate the office. This came after the radio station reported to police it received a suspicious package. It was addressed to tycoon Li Ka-shing, who owns the radio station. Initial investigation showed the powder was cornstarch. An explosion near a polling station in southwestern Pakistan has killed at least 25 people and wounded dozens more. This comes as the South Asian nation holds general elections to elect its third straight civilian government, a first for this majority Muslim nation. Jeff Tang reports.
This polling station in the southwest Pakistani city of Quetta was left in ruins after a bomb went off just outside. According to medical staff, 5 policemen and 2 children are among the dead. The death toll could rise as many of the wounded are in a critical condition. The voting station was packed as polls opened for the country's general elections today. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack. The police chief in Quetta, Baluchistan's provincial capital, said the blast took place near the city's eastern bypass. Baluchistan is an arid desert and mountainous region that spans across parts of Pakistan, Iran and Afghanistan. The province also faced its deadliest suicide bombing in the run-up to Election Day earlier this month in an attack that killed 149 people. Pakistanis will elect 270 members to the lawmaking National Assembly or lower house of parliament and another 577 candidates in 4 provincial assemblies. It marks the 3rd straight time the country goes to the polls to elect a civilian government, a first for this majority Muslim nation. Pakistan has been directly or indirectly ruled by its military for most of its 71-year history. The election pitches cricket hero Imran Khan against the party of jailed former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. However, the campaign has been plagued by accusations that it is among the dirtiest ever, said to be characterized by attempts to manipulate the outcome. That includes silencing the media and intimidating candidates. They are seen as attempts to prevent Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League from returning to power. There are also fears that neither side will win a clear majority amid a looming currency crisis. Jeff Tang, TVB News.
Coming up in our newscast, search for missing paraglider enters the 4th day. Facebook gets a toehold in China. And new horrific and harrowing details of the Greek wildfires.
恒生信用卡夏日激賞，賞你高達1100蚊 cash dollars， 俾你喺全港商戶進行購物同消費，同至愛好友一齊分享更多夏日笑容。立即登記大賺高達1100蚊 cash dollars， 同埋精選商戶折扣優惠，日日最想點子獎賞，借定唔借，還得到先好借。
Back to TVB News. Rescuers are still searching for a paraglider who went missing over Lantau Island last Sunday. As Christy Leung reports, the search team is no longer getting signals from his mobile phone.
Search and rescue efforts entered the 4th day since the 44-year-old paraglider Patrick Chung went missing on Sunday. Rescuers, including police officers, firefighters, and civil aid service personnel, continued the search in the eastern parts of Lantau Island in places like Mui Wong. Helicopters were also deployed by the government's flying service to locate Chung.
We started from the Shep Express over to the northeastern side of the Lantau Island. We cover most of the area of the Lantau Island.
However, search efforts have been hampered by poor conditions.
Due to the weather, the local base around 1,000 to 1,200 feet. Some of the area was covered by clouds, so the hilltop area we cannot search.
Rescuers detected signals from Chung's mobile phone on Monday, but the Hong Kong Paragliding Association said it stopped receiving the signals as his phone appeared to have run out of battery.
A roving exhibition began today to introduce Hong Kongers to the city's new banknotes. The $1,000 bills are on display in the IFC Mall in Central. That's where the public can closely examine the new banknotes. For the first time, thematic subjects on the reverse side of the city's 5 denominations will be the same, with no differences between the 3 note-issuing banks. The new banknotes have additional security features, making them harder to forge.
Facebook is finally getting back into the China market. The social media giant has plans to set up an innovation hub on the mainland. Wenna Wong tells us more.
Facebook is back in China. Well, sort of. According to mainland government filings, the company has successfully registered a subsidiary in Hangzhou. The application was approved exactly 1 week ago and is financed by an investment of $30 million. The only shareholder listed is Facebook's Hong Kong subsidiary. This is somewhat of a breakthrough for Facebook, which for years has been blocked by China's strict firewall. Instead, the Hangzhou company will be running an innovation hub for technological development, tech services, and consulting. Facebook has similar operations in France, Brazil, India, and South Korea. The social media giant has long tried to woo its way back into China's massive market, but with little success. In October last year, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg was in Beijing for a forum at Tsinghua University and surprised the crowd by opening with a few words in Mandarin. Also last year, the company quietly launched a photo and video sharing app in China called Colorful Balloons. Facebook is set to announce its second quarter results later today. Wenna Wang, TVB News.
Overseas again, and Greece is in a state of mourning after wildfires wreaked deadly havoc at seaside resorts. At least 79 people are dead, and with many still missing, the death toll is expected to rise. Heartbreaking stories from what now ranks as Greece's deadliest fire since 2007. The scale of Monday's devastation in worst-hit Mati is painfully apparent. 26 of the dead are groups of families or friends, their charred remains found huddled together. Red Cross volunteers said many died hugging each other. This resident witnessed the horror, calling it the fire from hell.
The fire closed that way. The fire also closed that way. The people didn't know where to go, where to live. Then they breathed all the fire, all the smoke.
Some escaped by swimming out to sea.
We were caught by the fire, so kind of surrounded. We had to go into the water and dive there so that we didn't burn our hair and heads there. And then we waited there several hours until we were rescued.
Others drowned in the process, died jumping off cliffs, or burned to death trying to escape in cars.
Many of them decided to try to reach the sea, which is only 1 block further down, but they did not know that in many areas there are rocks, so they got trapped. The fire surrounded them, they had no way out.
Such is the case for this grieving husband. As he desperately searches for his wife's wedding band, he admits, as the flames barreled towards his family, he grabbed his son and told his wife they'd have to make a run for it. That's the last time he saw her.
I took my baby and ran towards the sea, while my wife, I didn't know what happened. I think she burned herself here.
Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras declared 3 days of mourning and said international efforts are helping them to combat wildfires still burning near the Greek capital. It's unclear how many people are unaccounted for, but the Coast Guard is combing the beaches.
The Trump administration says it will provide $12 billion in emergency relief to farmers slammed by escalating trade disputes. The Agriculture Department said it would tap into an existing program to provide direct payments to farmers and ranchers hurt by foreign retaliation to Trump's tariffs. With congressional elections coming soon, the action underscores the government's concern about what's seen as part of the Trump base. But some farmers dismiss the plan, saying they want markets for their crops, not payoffs for lost sales.
So this is an election ploy, and we as farmers are playing the dupes again in this whole process. For me, this is a great loss, not just because the prices dropped, but our future markets will be taken away from us. This $12 billion, which was announced today by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, this is only short term.
President Donald Trump's daughter is shutting down her fashion brand. Ivanka Trump said she made the decision so she can focus more on her White House advisor role. She had already stepped away from managing her fashion line of dresses, shoes, and handbags when she joined her father's administration. Critics applaud the move. They say Ivanka Trump encourages U.S. companies to hire American workers when her own company allegedly uses foreign workers to make its products. And from all of us, thanks for joining us.
Good.